Hey guys, welcome back to a cup of art. I'm your host Star, and today I have a different, interesting, and unique video to share with you guys, and I am pretty happy and stoked to do so. So I literally can't wait for you guys to continue watching the rest of this video. So we're gonna start off with the sketching portion. It's time lapse because I didn't start screen recording till after I did the sketching portion and like a little bit of the base colors, I believe, because this was just primarily for practice. But then when I saw that I was pretty happy with how everything was going so far, I didn't mind screen recording the rest and potentially making it into a video. So I'm using a reference that I found on Pinterest. Of course, my attempt was to really understand the digital painting and stuff like that. But I realized a couple of ways into this piece that I still need a lot more practice, and so I just did something like my own way, and it's not digital painting, but I'm still happy with the results. I just want to get a couple things out the way before we really start getting into my thoughts about this piece. But I'm using an iPad Pro 9.7 inch. I believe it's a very old iPad, I got it 5 or 6 years ago, when I was in middle school. It's pretty old. I'm trying to save up to get a new iPad because I'm going to start college in less than a month. So I need something new that can hold up, because this iPad will literally die on you even though it has 100%. You would not be able to use it for 30 minutes. So that kind of sucks. So the screen recording is going to be wonky because it's going to cut out the screen recording a lot, just by itself, because it's just so old and it just can't hold up. But yeah, I'm using iPad 9.7 inch. My art program is Procreate. Using an Apple Pencil. The brush I'm using is just a round brush. I use that for sketching and inking and whatever. And then for blending, I'm using a textured line art brush. And yeah, that was just the best combination that I can think of. But yeah, so on the screen, you can see the Pinterest girl that I'm drawing. It was under the tag alternate makeup, and so I really liked all the girls with these different and unique makeups. I picked the one that I wanted to do, but the one that was also very how should I say, easiest for me, I believed, in terms of painting the face. It wasn't too complex, really. So I that's what I did. You saw that I started off with this sketch. I wanted to create her stylized because I'm a person who creates stylized, cartoonish art. If you look at my Instagram or look at the last couple of videos on this channel, there are art videos that I have made, and like I said, look at my Instagram. I create stylized, cartoonish, not really cartoonish, but very stylized, cartoon, anime inspired, but not really art. So this is different, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create something very stylized, but then I was like, you know what, let me fix it a little bit to attempt for it to be sort of realistic. It doesn't really look like the girl, obviously. I think I made her eyes too big, and there are things that are off, because you put these side by side, they don't look alike, but I'm still happy at the end of the day. So yeah, all I did was just move the features around. I brought the eyes higher up because on the girl, her eyes are higher up, aligned with the top of her ears. Unlike what I had, usually I draw the eyes middle-ish of the head, and then the ears more down. So I just fixed the features, and then her face was really wide and circle-y. That's not a word, but very big and like a circle. And so I just used the liquify tool in Procreate to kind of slim down the face and just adjust it a little bit until I think it looked right, because her face is more oval. But yeah, so that is that. In terms of how I my overall feelings before I go in depth of everything, like I said, I'm very happy with how this turned out. I'm very proud of myself. This is the first time I've ever drawn something like this before. I have attempts of really trying to digital paint my face, and I know technically digital painting doesn't really have line art, and stuff like that. So I don't really know what to like really call this, but yeah. But I'm just saying that I've attempted to do my face a bunch of times. Like, I can get the sketching portion of my face, just the coloring of my face is what I just can't understand. And no matter like how many times I watch a video, like, just tutorials really on digital painting are very confusing. I understand putting the flat colors down, putting a color on top, blending it, putting another color on top, blending it. It's just like my brain and hands are like not communicating. It just doesn't work out. So yeah, those attempts have been bad. But I think that if I take the approach that I did with this face and like try to go back to all those drawings I did of my face, or any other faces in the future, it would probably work out a lot better. But yeah, my overall feelings is that I'm extremely happy with my skills improving. So yeah, I'll go in depth based on the things that are happening on the screen right now. So in terms of the lips are the ones that I had the most struggle with, because I was trying to make it look a lot full, because I didn't want it, of course, not to make it look flat. And that's why, like, what I have to, like, work on for, like, future drawings, because I want to make things look full and not flat. I want to make it, round, and not, it doesn't have to necessarily be realistic, but I don't want it to be flat. And that's the point of you adding colors and blending it out. The more colors you add and blend, it's not going to be flat anymore, because you have colors on top of colors on top of colors. But I also want to make it look realistic. And I don't know how to explain it, but the lips just weren't working with me. I think at the end of it, you can see it's not flat. You can probably see it's full, but it doesn't look the way it looks in the reference picture. Like, she has like these like shines and like these like little lines that, like, everyone's lips, we have like lines that go across downwards in her lips, and I just could not get those parts right. So I just kind of like stuck with making it not look flat, and I was like, I'm gonna call it a day. That's literally it for me. But yeah, when I was like, I'm done with it, because it's the first couple of things that I did, I decided that I was gonna move on to actually doing the face, like going back to the face and trying to make it full, because I didn't want it not to look full. Like, I'm not explaining things well, because I don't know what I'm talking about. But you can see I'm adding like darker colors, and then I'm adding colors on top of that, and I'm blending it out just to kind of give the face some dimension, just to kind of make it look like it's sticking out and not completely fat and one color. But it was extremely hard to do something like that. But like I said, I had fun. This took me 9 hours and 21 minutes to do. I started it July 31st and I finished it August 4th. And I just worked on it a couple of minutes to a couple of hours each day that I did work on it, the 4 or 5 days. Like I said, my iPad sucks. It just won't. That's why for videos that I've done in the past, I never screen record them. I always just do time lapse strictly, because my iPad just cannot handle screen recording. It would stop by itself, it would die on itself, and then the screen recording would never save. And I can't just keep leaving it in the charger. Even though it's at 100%, I can't leave it in the charger, because like my mom's paying those bills, and that's like electricity just being wasted. So I had to like really try my hardest to work on this for like 30 minutes to an hour a day, and then like just stop, because if I didn't, it would just cut off on me. And there's so many like clips that are not included in this video, especially with the hair, when we get later on to drawing the hair, that just it completely cuts off, and I don't have those videos because it didn't save. And that sucks, because the hair was my like very much experimental phase, because though I'm talking about how I wanted the face to look full, I wanted the lips to look full, at this point in my art career, but like my art hobby career, because I'm mostly doing this for hobby, but at this point I really know a lot more about shading and rendering skin, or just have an understanding of it. Not all the time that I fully like implement it in my art, but I have such like a good understanding of it that even though I'm tackling something that's semi-realistic, maybe not even realistic, but like stylized realistic, even when I'm attempting something like this, I know what I have to do to make sure it looks full and shaded and rendered to a certain point, you know? But for the hair, since I just suck at hair in general, and like I said, I draw more like anime hair, so I shade, or I draw hair, but I shade hair like if it was in the anime. Like there's not much shading, you have a dark part here, a light part here, maybe a highlight here and there. That's how I shade hair. But this one, her hair is like super complex. There was a lot of lights bouncing into on top of the top of her hair, and then there was like blue near like the ears of the hair, and then so there was like darker parts, and there were like multiple colors inside their hair. There was green, there was gray, there was blue, brown. So that like, oh, I was experimenting, and that part probably took me the longest to do, or it just felt like it took me the longest to do, but realistically the face took me the longest to do. But that part was the hardest for me to do, and most of the screen recording is like gone. I mean, I do have it, so you're gonna see something, but you know, I wish there was more. But yeah, my favorite part of this whole entire process most definitely has to be the nose. I don't know what it is, but I really just love like noses in drawings, and I just love how people like shade and render noses, especially like people who take inspiration from anime, so their art kind of surrounds like stylized anime characters. And I always look at their noses. That's like the first place that always attracts me in an art, the nose or the eyes. And I just love drawing noses and I just love shading it. So the nose is my favorite part. And I think that, of course, I could have, you know, it needs a lot more help. But I think that, to me, the best part of the art that I did was the nose and like the shading on top of it. It's weird, but after I finished it, I was like pretty happy with myself. And every time I did something that I was really happy with, like I would run to Jen and her little sister and I'd be like, hey, look at my progress so far. I was like so happy, guys, because this is a big deal for me, so I was excited. But yeah, the nose is my favorite part, and I guess like the blue and the eyes are my favorite part as well. They didn't come out like as dark, like the eyeshadow as dark as I wanted it to be, but I was very much attracted to this piece because, like I said, it's simple, but because I have blue eyeshadow, blue's my favorite color. If I was gonna do something, there has to be blue in it. And you know, the eyes are it was extremely simple. All I really like need to like worry about in the face to really make sure that I'm really referencing this reference as much as possible was with the eyeshadows, because I think that's like the big and bold part of the art, the eyeshadow, and just like the blue on the lips, and then there's some in her hair. So yeah, I was pretty proud of myself with the blue, but I think I could have make it work. I just suck at doing makeup in art in general, so that has to be like improved upon later on. But I'm at a good spot where I kind of understand what I need to work on and then like fix it later on. So that was fun. But yeah, I wish that I did something else with the eyes. They're not realistic. I was gonna leave it the way they are, but like later on I put like a tint of gray and blue in the whites of her eyes. But yeah, I don't really know how to make the eyes like realistic, especially compared to the rest of the art. But since like the art itself is not really like realistic, it's more like stylized realistic or stylized realism. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know what I should call it, but since it's like kind of like stylized realism, it's okay that the eyes don't really look realistic. At least it's there and just like doing something and it doesn't look horrible. That's literally all I care about. So yeah. Another part of this drawing that I like was the freckles. I don't know if she has natural freckles or if it's done by makeup, but I noticed that there was a lot of like dark brown spots, or like very light brown, or maybe if it, or maybe it was like really light because it was covered by makeup. But either way, there's like spots under her eyes and like at her nose and the bridge of her nose. And there's a couple like kind of like tiny, like very hard to see faint ones like near her eyebrows. And I'm looking at it right now and I forgot to do it. But anyways, I just drew a bunch of like dots where I saw fit, like where that'll look nice. And then like there's one on her nose that I kept like dark. And then the ones to kind of make it look like it's very faint because there's some that you can barely see. I just used a smudge tool and I smudged it around. You could just use your color and then lower the opacity. That would work as well. But yeah, the smudge tool worked. It made it look faint. I could have smudged it more to make it look even more faint, but I still like the results of it either way, so I didn't really mind. But yeah, I really liked the freckles. At this point I think the face was coming together. I was really looking like I'm literally had this girl's face on like the little reference thing on Procreate. If you don't know how to get it, the little toolbar or the little icon right next to gallery at the top, you click it, then you go to canvas, and when you go down there should be like a thing called reference. You click on that, a reference will appear. You can either reference your canvas, so if you zoom in a lot and you're doing like small details on the reference bar thing there, your art will be there so you can see a zoom out. So you don't have to keep zooming in and zooming out multiple times. You have the zoom out all the time on your reference bar, and you can zoom in as far as you need to on your art, and you can continuously look at your reference bar or your reference navigation bar to see how your art is looking even though you're zoomed in. But you can also import an image and use it as your reference, and I do that a lot if I'm like really referencing clothes, because I suck at clothes and I suck at hair. So I either will split screen my iPad and just continuously be on Pinterest as a reference, or if I have a solid image that I want and I want the full iPad screen space, I will save or download that image from Google Images or Pinterest and import it onto Procreate. But yeah, so I had this girl imported literally the whole time, and I zoomed in as much as I need to, especially for the hair. So obviously now at this point of the video, we're at the hair part of this image. And I colored picked a lot, and then because sometimes color picking off of reference, you don't really get the accurate colors because it just looks off sometimes. So I tweaked it if need be. But yeah, I blocked out the colors I need to. I smudged if I need to. And yeah, there's a certain point of this image where I felt like everything was done, and then I go back again and like kind of like redo the hair a little bit. I don't know which screen recordings, like I had mentioned, a lot of the screen recordings for the hair process got deleted because it did not save because my iPad shut off. So I don't know if I have the screen recording for it, but I do like tweak the hair a lot, even though like you could think it's done. And then I add like really like detailed, like small details at the end, but I don't think I have the screen recording for that one. I know for a fact I don't have the screen recording for that, but you'll still see at the end. Because I'm gonna have like the end time lapse of what did not save at the end of the screen recording process. But yeah, so the hair is next. At this point, I'm just like when I started this, my plan was to render it as much as possible and then see how it looked with the line art completely gone. And just as like a little test, I probably should still have done it just to see how my art looked like. I'm completely gone, and then what I could have done is take the line art out, see how everything looks with that line art, and then tweaked it to a certain point that maybe would end up being realistic. But that would take me hours upon hours upon hours, and this really should not have taken me 9 hours and 21 minutes to do. But I think it's because it's the first time I've done it. I think because I was experimenting a lot. I think because I would pause so much and really look at this art and really be like, what should I do next? That took that long, but like this should not have taken me more than like 3 or 4 hours to do. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But anyways, I think maybe if I ever want to improve upon this image, I will take the line art out and then like really tweak it and make it realistic without the line art. But that's for another day. But yeah, at this point, since I already knew that it was not going to be realistic, it's going to be this stylized realism, like I mentioned before. I didn't have to like go ham on making the hair super realistic. I did want to make sure I color blocked and blended, or I guess smudged, because I'm using smudge tool to like for the hair. And then towards the end, I added like extra like little lines and strokes here and there to make stuff look more fuller and, you know, correct anything, because I was like, you know what, I'm already 9 hours in. Let me just go further with it. But yeah, I think like I said, my favorite part was the nose, my favorite part was the freckles, and then I think at a certain point later on, my favorite part ended up being the hair. Because it was just so fun to see all the different colors in this girl's hair. She had blue, black, gray, green, brown, other weird colors, and it was fun to like see it and then like try to replicate it to the best of my abilities. Yeah, I don't know if I did a good job with it, but I'm pretty happy with the results nevertheless. So that was cool. At a certain point, I was doing the blue part of her hair, and I just kind of had like just the blue there. But then I was looking at it, I'm like, ah, that looks so ugly and weird, and I didn't just like the color blocked of the blue, whether I smudged the ends or not. So I added like darker browns and blacks in between the blues, and I blended it out. So the blues look more like blue like strands every once in a while at the bottom part of her hair, instead of just like this color block just of all blue, because it just wasn't working. I wish I did make the blue slightly darker, though the blue under her hair is also like, it's pretty light. I wish I made mine slightly darker, because just this light blue doesn't it doesn't like work. And if I did kept the light blue, I wish at the top of her hair where there's like very light grays, I wish instead I made those light grays like that type of blue, maybe slightly darker, just so we have like, it's not blue heavy all on the bottom. But it's okay. We have blue at the hairline, and we have blue in the eyes, so it kind of balances out that there's blue at 3 different portions of this image. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing the hair, like I said, color blocking it, and it's just mostly just me. Oh, I see color here, putting it here. I see this color here, putting it here. It's not like fully rendered. It's basically all color blocked. Most parts might look slightly more detailed than another part, but overall that's just what it is. And that's just, either way, like I said, I'm proud of myself, and I like what I end up doing either way. So yeah. So now I'm just kind of like finishing up this piece. I noticed I didn't fill in like the eyebrows colors, so I was doing that to make sure that, you know, it's filled in and it doesn't like stay the way it was looking. I'm just tweaking a little bit of like the rendering in the face. I'm adding more colors, though primarily this girl has very light colors on the cheeks that are closest to the nose, and like right in the middle of her forehead at the top of the bridge of her nose. They're very light colors, and then the surrounding areas are pretty dark, or it has like this shading or this color of blue and green. My girl, my interpretation of her was like it's kind of not the opposite, but I kind of didn't like follow it truly. So I was tweaking it a little bit to make sure that it was close. Though my girl, though she has a lot of darker colors in her cheeks, because to me that was like the only way I could allude to that her face was kind of rendered and shaded or whatever if it was more darker in the cheeks. So I wish I kind of found I wish I went lighter and found a way that I can make her cheeks sort of look full or sort of look rendered without having to make it dark, because in the reference it's not like the same. But yeah, I'm just adding a couple of minor stuff to fix this or finish this piece off. I'm adding the little color between the end of her nose and the top of her lips. I'm adding more colors near the nose, like the bridge and the side of the nose, to kind of, I don't know, give it that look that the nose kind of sticks out, like her nose does, and just like how everyone noses does. Adding some little highlight here and there of the piece, because like I said, I noticed that she kind of has like highlight at the bridge of her nose, has it like in the middle of her forehead. I added it under the eyes as well, and I wanted to kind of be bright but like not standing out, so I had to keep like fixing it. And I don't like how it ended up coming out, the little colors by the eyes, but it's honestly, it's better than nothing. And it's like a stylized piece, right? So honestly, I didn't have to like fully do everything I saw in the picture if I didn't want to, but I know for next time. But yeah, so I'm just finishing everything up. Like I'm saying the same thing over, guys, so I don't know what to talk about. Yeah, I'm making the I also made the eyes slightly darker because I didn't really like how it was looking. And at this point, the rest of the screen recording did end up cutting off, so the rest is going to be time lapse, and I slow it down a little bit, just so you guys can see the like little things that I did. But the reference picture, the girl had a lot of white, or not white, but it was very like, there was like light at the top of her head, so I added like some white to the top of her head, and I made them like very skinny and blended them out to make it look like strands, because that's how it was in the picture. Her strands looked like there was light hitting it, or unless they put something in her hair that made it really like light. But obviously I think there was some light hitting her head, so I added that to the hair strands, and then I added it anywhere else that I saw fit. I fixed any other details that I wanted to. I shaded a little bit more on the neck, but then it was looking very muddy and very dark, and I didn't like it, so I kind of like undo and only just put what I think it was necessary, and then I took whatever else I did because I just hated it. What I wish I had done is on the right side of her hair, you can see these light browns, but on the left side, it's not there. Like our left, it's not there. Our right, it is there, but it's her left that it is there, and our right that it's not there. Or her right, I mean. But yeah, guys, that is the end of this video. It's pretty long, so I'm gonna try to cut it down as much as possible, especially during the parts I'm not talking. But I'm pretty proud of this image. I'm gonna try to attempt it again, either with my face or do another practice by looking at another like Pinterest girl face. I want to do a darker, I want to do a black girl this time. I mean, I'm black myself, so I can attempt it like on myself again. But I think I'd rather do it on another practice on someone else's face and then attempt mine's one more time. And the only reason I'm trying to do this stylized realism. I don't know what do you call something like this, but the only reason why I want to do something like this, one, because I think that if it turns out like it looks really really good, I think that it will look really pretty as like some type of print. I'm not gonna sell anything. I'm going to college. I can't like start an art business, but I think maybe like Redbubble or something. It's the image is 300 DPI, and I think you need 300 DPI to have like a good quality print, or I think it's 350. So if it is 350, then this girl, I can't make it into anything. But my next attempts, I'll make sure that I change my canvas to 350, because I always have all my canvases, no matter what size I use, as 300. Anyways, I think that something like Redbubble, or I know there's other third-party sites like Redbubble, like to do something like that where I can make money in the side, especially for college. But yeah, I'm gonna practice on another Pinterest girl. I'm gonna do a black girl this time. Do very pretty makeup, maybe something elaborate. I'm thinking gold, because I think black girls look really like beautiful with like gold and yellow makeup. So something like that, and I want to kind of go big or go home with it. And then, because I'm doing all this practice, my real like goal for all of this is to like draw my family members and draw my friends, because we're all going away for college. It would be nice to draw my friends as like some type of like gift, and maybe they will keep it as a wallpaper, maybe they'll just keep it on their camera roll, whatever the case may be. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any thoughts. I know I was going to like, oh, I did this here, I did this here. I didn't really go into depth about like my process or anything like I really wanted to. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them down in the comments. Please check out my Instagram. This picture will be up on my Instagram by the time this video is posted, so definitely go give it some love. And Jen and I are thinking of starting like a Patreon or a coffee or something where we can make money on the side. So if you like any of the art that you see in any of these videos, or check those videos out first, or like any art that you see in any of our Instagrams, links are down below. Please consider supporting us, and any links to any of that will be down below as well. But yeah, once again, thank you guys literally so much. Links to everything down below. Please, if you have any dying questions, let me know, because I didn't really answer or really talk about anything in this video, so I'll be happy to answer them in the comments like I mentioned. Once again, I'm using an iPad Pro 9.7 inch. I'm using Procreate, Apple Pencil. My canvas size is 1400 by 1400. My DPI is 300. This took me 9 hours and 21 minutes to do. I was working on it for the past 4 or 5 days. My favorite parts of this drawing were the sketch and the nose. In the future, I did the sketch in blue, and then I changed it to black, but in the future I might change it to like a dark brown to really fit the person's skin color, because I think that would look a lot better. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys literally so much. Check any of the links down below, and Jen and I will see you in the next video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and peace. Bye guys.